Hello, my lovelies. How are you doing? It's been a while since I've recorded a video, and the reason for that is that, probably like many of you, I've been going through a lot of changes, a lot of reassessing of life and what's really important, and dealing with 2021 and COVID. I'm just assimilating, I think, and recalibrating all the changes that have gone on since, well, certainly in the UK, since March of last year when the reality of the COVID pandemic hit. And looking forward now and working out, well, okay, the world is changing. Our personal worlds have changed. The global world is changing. And what do we take forward into that brave new world? What do we let go of? One of the things that I wanted to talk about now is really the thing that I have been working on most, and that is about developing intuition. I've found a lot of the clients that I've been working with through my coaching, we've been focusing on that as a means to develop almost like personal coping mechanisms, if you like, for what life is throwing at us, especially at the time when we feel a bit out of control. And the thing that we can do is listen to our intuition, because our intuition has our best interests at heart. It's like a best friend, only on steroids, if you like. Our intuition is there to guide us, to support us, and to help us to become true to ourselves, to really embrace who we truly are, to help us avoid making mistakes, but also to encourage and sometimes to even push us to perhaps take a few risks in our own best interests and go forward in the best way possible. Our intuition is very different from our ego, which is there in many ways to actually just protect us and perhaps sometimes stop us doing things that, because of what's happened in the past, we may not wish to take a risk in case we get hurt or whatever. So I developed a program called Find Your Spark, which is a life coaching program aimed at helping people to develop their intuition. And I just wanted to share that with you with a tarot reading, because I know many of you come here to get some messages from tarot and oracle cards. So I thought, well, why not demonstrate, if you like, how it would work with you or with a client, and to give you some insight and tarot as well. So Find Your Spark is really all about getting your mojo back. It's about finding the direction. It's about, maybe it could be life purpose. It could be becoming more abundant. It could be improving your well-being. But it's all about tapping into your passion, your spontaneity. It's about being able to shift, be flexible, move quickly, develop strength to deal with the trials and tribulations of life, and also about being kind to yourself. I think our intuition can actually help us to perhaps be a little kinder to ourselves and others than maybe we might have been in the past. The way it works is a combination of coaching and tarot reading. So it's a 6-week program with regular coaching sessions, usually done via Zoom or some online format, to identify where you'd like to grow and develop, and then to look at how tapping into your intuition can help you do that. And I use a wide variety of different techniques to help you to develop your intuition. We all have it. We're born with it. Not only that, it kind of comes from our DNA. It's like ancestral. Our intuition is a combination of all the experience from people in our past lives. And I'm not talking here about who you might have been in a past life. I'm talking about ancestral DNA. So yeah, so with that we use, as I say, a combination of the coaching and then tips and tricks to develop that intuition, because it's like a muscle. The more you use it, the better it will be, and the more you learn to trust it, and the easier it is to tap into it, and you learn fairly quickly how to differentiate, if you like, between your ego and your intuition and that gut instinct, because they're all slightly different. So I'm going to use a couple of decks here. They are my current go-to decks. I discovered them via another tarot reader, Baba Jolie, who I absolutely love. If you are into tarot readings, do find her on YouTube. She gives very generous readings. They're invariably quite lengthy, and she goes with the astrological signs. But I noticed this gorgeous deck that she was using. I thought, oh, what's that? And Googled it and found. So this is the Oracle deck by the same artist, Katrine Veltz-Stein, and it's called the Oracle of Mystical Moments. Oracle of Mystical Moments. It has a lovely quirky energy, and as you know, I like quirky, but a very gentle energy as well. But I have found it really great for tapping into intuition. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw some cards, which will help to give you some spiritual intuitive guidance, but also to show you how it works when I do find your spark. So we'll shuffle the deck here. God, Spirit, Universe, Angels and Ancestors, what messages do we have from you today? Now, a card has flipped out straight away. I tend to get a lot more jumpers these days as I've trusted my intuition more. So let's have a look at this card. Very interesting one. So this is called Eve. So what I want you to do, and I hope this is in focus for you, I would like you just to look at this card for a few seconds and just pick up the energy from the card. What is the card saying to you? And that first impressions of the card is very probably, as is usually the case with our intuition, the very important messages that will come through. So have a look at the card. You might want to write down your first impressions of it. So there's a message in it for you, but it's also all about you tapping into your own intuition. In other words, learning to read the cards for yourself. So when you've done that, what I'd like you to do now is to ask the card, what is it I need to know? What is it I need to know? And again, you're going with whatever your intuition tells you first off. And then I'd like you to ask, what else do I need to know? What else do I need to know? Okay, so hopefully you will have now got some messages from this card. And now I'm going to give my own intuitive interpretation, but I will also read you something from the book, because I do find, particularly with oracle decks, that the booklet that goes with them is really important, because it gives you the opportunity to see what the creator of the deck had in mind. It's not to negate whatever messages you yourself may have picked up from the cards, but it is also to add to that. And obviously, the more you use decks, the more familiar you come with the meanings. And I do find that I quite like the idea that the author, the creator, has given a specific meaning. But I do always go first off with my intuitive read of the card. And Eva, or Eva, it is actually, Eva is in this oracle deck probably the equivalent to the devil, but this time it's Eve, the temptress. And if you look here, I mean, the flower, the look on her face, There's a temptation here, but there's also perhaps you may have picked up a slightly sinister feeling to the card, or maybe not. It doesn't matter. There is no right and wrong when you're using your intuition to get messages for yourself. But certainly the message I'm picking up here is very much along the lines of, where are you sabotaging yourself? Where is the old patterns, things that you need to let go of, ways that in the past, again, from the ego side, they may have been there to protect you, behaviors that maybe are to stop you getting hurt. But I think when Eva comes up, the message I'm getting here, certainly at this moment, is how do you let go of this side of yourself so that you can be removed from temptation, perhaps, and move on. And I do think there's very much the word self-sabotage has come in quite strongly with this card. So if we were doing it in one-to-one coaching, the next question would be, well, okay, in reality, where might you be self-sabotaging? So the card is like the trigger to instigate the conversation that then looks at what is the solution to the problem, because that would be, well, what can you do about it? And then, as I'm a coach, it would always be, and when are you going to do it? And what might stop you from doing it? So coaching is always practical based, using your intuition in this case, but then developing it into the actions that you can follow on from the intuitive read. So let me just get the little booklet here. So it's number 16, 6 and 1 is 7. However, I'm not very good at numerology, so I can't tell you what 7 particularly means, but I'm sure many of you know, or you can look it up. Okay, so the key words for Eva are duplicity, deception, and caution. Out of the jungle steps a woman, half of her body covered with exotic plants and flowers. A snake wriggles round her neck. The woman presents herself like a sweet fruit to be picked. She offers excitement and novelty, but be careful. Her kiss could be toxic as the bite of a snake. Like a deceitful friend or lover, her unreadable countenance masks her true intentions. So, where does that have a resonance in your life? Okay, so that would be how I'd use the Oracle card. Now I'm going to go on to do and this is just a 3-card. I'm a very big fan of the 3-card reading from the Tarot of Mystical Moments. And that's, again, by the same creator, Katrin Welz-Stein, CATRIN-WELZ-Stein. I'll put a link to the decks in the bio under the video when I upload it. So here we have the Tarot of Mystical Moments, and again there's a great big theme here of nature and of nature and quirkiness. It is a gentle energy, highly intuitive energy. I feel I certainly find I get, as I said, a lot of messages from this. It speaks to me. If you are a tarot reader or you've had some experience with cards, you'll know that some decks speak to us and others don't. Some decks don't speak to us for a particular time, and then we go back to them, and then they do speak again. So what I'd say is, unless you're absolutely sure, you don't need to give away a deck if it's not speaking to you, or sell it or whatever. You might want to put it to one side for a while and then pick it up later when you are ready to use it. So I'm going to leave angels, ancestors. What message do we have for using our intuition? Okay, so here we go. So again, 3 cards. Now, when I'm doing a 3-card spread in a reading, I would normally either attribute meanings such as past, present, future, current situation, challenge, opportunity, mind, body, spirit. But for this activity, when we're simply looking to develop intuition, I'm not going to assign any specific meanings. We're just going to look at the cards. I'm going to do exactly as I did with the Oracle card and give you an opportunity to pick up your own messages, and I will interpret them as well. So, one more time. one's jumped out, and I'm just going to split the deck now. Oh, second one's just jumped. I'll try once more. Oh, right. Okay, I said I was going to use 3 cards, but you've now got 5, so let's just go with them, because I'm a great believer if they do leap out like this. So I've got an itchy nose. What does itchy nose mean? Telling lies? I'm not telling you lies. Okay, so first card up, we'll turn over, 7 of Wands. I love this card. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is have a look at the card. What do you pick up from the card on that initial impression? Okay, now I'd like you to look at the card more, and again we're looking at using your intuition here, so you're just trusting that the messages that come to you as I ask the question and as you look at the card, just to trust those messages and go with it. So what does the card want you to know? What does the card want you to know? And finally, what else does it want you to know? The reason I ask the second question is because very often we can get an initial impression from a card, but if we sit with it for a bit longer, and very often when I'm working with people, we sit with it for a lot longer, the more you look at it, the more in depth you get, the more messages come from the card or from your intuition or from spirit or wherever you wish to call it. But for me with Find Your Spark, we're talking about our intuition, and anybody can do this. Anybody. You've all got intuition. It's a matter of using it. Second card, Ace of Cups. This was one that flipped out and turned over. And again, different energy. With tarot, each of the suits has traditionally a different meaning, but it doesn't matter whether or not you know that meaning. I'm not going to talk about that at this moment. You're just picking up the energy and the messages from the card. So this card is called the Ace of Cups. And what does it want you to know? And what else does it want you to know? Okay. Next, now, as I said, normally it would have been a 3-card read, but these next 3 cards all jumped out together. So I'm taking them together. And here we have the Emperor. Talk about quirky. Look at that moustache. Okay, so this is the Emperor. What does it say to you? What does the card want you to know? What else does it want you to know? For time, I won't be spending quite as long on these, as I say, as I would normally, but you can always replay the video and take the messages as they come. Okay, the next one is the 5 of Cups. I have to say this card particularly has been coming up a lot recently for clients. There's probably a reason for that when you see the card, and the traditional meaning, those of you who are tarot readers will know what I'm talking about. So again, you're asking yourself, what's your initial feeling from the card, or what's it telling you? And then what does it want you to know? And then what else does it want you to know? And finally, the Empress. Wow, we've got the divine couple here, Emperor and Empress. That doesn't often come out. There are 78 cards in the tarot deck, 22 of which are major arcana cards, and the Emperor and the Empress are two of those major arcanas. So here we have the consort of the Emperor, very different energy from the Emperor, the Empress. What is she saying to you? What does she want you to know? And what else does she want you to know? Okay, so those are the 5 cards. I will just quickly go through the messages that I'm getting for you. I'm just going to pull this curtain through, so I'm getting a bit of light here. The sun has come out after first rain we've had for weeks. Just a moment. Okay, that's perhaps a bit better. Okay, so 7 of Wands. Immediately the energy of this is breaking free. I mean, here we have this sort of circus muscle man who is breaking out of the cage. And the thing that's striking me most is the word love. I think there's a bit of a theme here in this reading. He's breaking out of this cage with love. Love is going to set him free. That's the message I'm picking up here. He's gone through a lot of trials and tribulations. I mean, there's a bit of a fight going on here, and there's been some temptation and all sorts of things the more you look into the card, but the very strong message is about breaking free. So if you've got that message or anything to do with that, then the question is, again, going on from what we get from it. So, okay, what is it you need to break free from? And then following on from that would be, well, okay, how are you going to do it? Next card, very love related, is the Ace of Cups. And this is about new beginnings in love. That's very much the strength of this card. And I love all the butterflies. Butterfly is about transformation. And this is a very transformative energy that love releases. So if you like love here, you see the word love there, love releases us. And I love the fact that the cup is a giant teacup. And here she is, she's like sitting on a pool of water, holding this cup of love and releasing these butterflies of transformation. Then we have the very powerful energy of the Emperor. He looks quite stern, but also quite quirky. He doesn't seem to be at all bothered by the fact that his moustache is branches. Branching out is the phrase that's coming to me here. But he's very powerful. He's got his very fancy regalia. There's all sorts of chains going on and beautiful flowers. The theme of this deck, very, very flower focused. On his head is his Emperor's palace. And yeah, he's very regal, very in control, and very powerful. So if you picked up any of those messages, which I'm certainly picking up strongly here with this, then it's about, well, okay, if you're breaking free, if you like, from restrictions and you're moving away from the negativity that this sneaky madam brings, then where do you need to be strong in your power? That's the message that I'm picking up from this, and the question of, well, okay, where do you need to have your power? Maybe reclaim your power, and how are you going to do that? Then we have the 5 of Cups. So we've got 2 cups here. We have the Ace of Cups and the 5 of Cups. In traditional Rider-Waite, this is a figure cloaked in black who is gazing down at, I can't remember if he's gazing down at 3 cups and there are 2 cups behind him. No, it must be gazing at 2 cups and there are 3 behind him, which is about loss. But not everything is lost. And this figure is moving on, and sort of intuitively, I've got it's a very still energy of almost like acceptance of what you need to move away from and let go of, and which might make you sad because it is to do with the past. and connections to the past and with your heart, with your emotions, with your feelings. But she is still holding on to two of those beautiful flowers, and she's taking those with her into a future, and she's going across the sea of emotion, or the lake of feeling, towards a new life, a new beginning. But there is a feeling of sadness here, a sadness as we let go of what might have been, but taking with us these flowers of hope towards what will be. And then finally, we have the Empress. And I just love this. I love her dress there, which is like a giant flower with lots and lots of beautiful, beautiful roses underneath. Her skirt is just made of flowers. Traditionally, the Rider-Waite, or traditionally in tarot, she is all about abundance and kind of the ultimate Earth Mother figure, unconditional love. Her energy is very different from her consort, who can take these two here. He's, as you can see, quite stern and possibly a little bit pompous, but also he needs to be in control of his world. She's got a lot softer energy, but as a couple, they make a very good couple, as she can balance out his softness, and he maybe brings in a bit of his reasoning. I've got a sword energy here, if you like, to help. So the intuitive feel for this one is to where can you tap into your divine feminine, your female femininity, and this is not gender specific, but we all have masculine and feminine sides to us. And as the final read on this, intuitively, I'm saying that really for many of us, if we take the first card with the theme of love, she is the embodiment of unconditional love. So where in your world do you need to tap into unconditional love for yourself and for others? And the more you can sit comfortably in that, with an awareness that you also need this, the happier you will be. She's also powerful, but in a soft, gentle way. So that is, again, with this one, just to sort of finish off the process, if you like. So again, we'd be looking at this and saying, okay, where in the world, in your world, might you have let go of some of that feminine energy, and how can you recapture it? So that's a little insight into how Find Your Spark and tarot coaching works, certainly with how I work with clients, but particularly on how you can use the cards to help you to develop your intuition and grow your own. I love the word grow here with all this nature. Grow your intuition to support you as it's almost like an internal compass. You know, when you get your intuition calibrated on your internal compass, then you intuitively know which direction to go in, and you can trust it more and more. So that's my video for today. It's been a pleasure to be back chatting with you. If you would like to subscribe to my channel, please hit the subscribe button. And to the right of it, there are 3 little bells. It automatically comes up with the middle one. If you hit the top bell, hit the bell and the darker one comes up, you'll be notified every time I put up a video, and hopefully I will be doing a lot more of these now that I've started to get my own mojo back and find my own spark again, to help others to fulfill their lives through tapping into intuition, reading the cards, etc. And if you have any questions or you'd like to get in touch with me, do message me. I'll also put a link for the Find Your Spark program, which you can start at any time. As I say, it's a 6-week program, includes monthly coaching sessions with me, and it's great fun, and you really enjoy trying to develop that intuition. So until the next time, my lovelies, take care and keep smiling.